What if I told you that the wars shaping our world today aren't fought with guns, bombs, or borders, but with something far more powerful? Money? That billions of lives, entire economies, and the rise and fall of nations are quietly decided by invisible forces, manipulating the flow of currency. Welcome to the silent, global war of money manipulation, a conflict that's been raging for over a century, yet most people are completely unaware it exists. The story begins in the shadows of history. In 1913, a secretive group of financiers reshaped the global financial system with the creation of the Federal Reserve. Names like J.P. Morgan and Paul Warburg were just influentially were architects of a system that could control the world economy from behind a veil of legality. This wasn't merely about banking. It was about power. Whoever controls money controls nations. Central banks, debt instruments, and currency manipulation became the tools of a silent war. And, like any war, it had its rules, but the rules were written by those holding the guns. Or rather, the money. But here is the twist. What seems like stabilità, steady hum of the global economy, is often the smokescreen hiding deeper battles. The booms, the busts, the crises, they're not random accidents. They are strategic moves in a centuries-old game. Long before digital currencies and Wall Street skyscrapers, money itself was weaponized. Governments realized that currency could fund wars, manipulate populations, and reshape power structures. Fiat currency, money backed by trust rather than gold, was a breakthrough. It gave those in control almost godlike power, the ability to create wealth out of thin air or destroy it at will. By the early 1900s, the battlefield was clear. Debt and credit became the silent weapons, and nations unknowingly became pawns in a much larger game. With central banks established, financial empires rose. Credit expanded rapidly. Markets boomed, and fortunes multiplied, sometimes overnight. Ordinary citizens, seduced by the promise of wealth, stepped into the arena, unaware that the rules were stacked against them. The First World War, the Great Depression, and the post-World War II recovery weren't just historical events. They were carefully influenced by financial manipulation. Policy decisions, currency devaluations, and market interventions were the weapons used to control entire populations. And yet, every system has a breaking point. When leverage and speculation surpass reality, economies implode. The Great Depression was the first public display of the silent financial war. Decades later, the 2008 crises revealed the same patterns. Excessive debt, risky financial products, and centralized interventions to protect elites while ordinary citizens bore the cost. The fallout was catastrophic: employment, foreclosures, and a loss of trust. But here's the crucial insight. These crises weren't mistakes. They were lessons for those controlling the system, showing them how to consolidate power and prepare for the next stage. Fast forward to today, global debt has surpassed $300 trillion. Central banks are printing money at historic rates. Digital currencies, shadow banking, and high-frequency trading are the new weapons in this silent war. Even nations themselves can be manipulated through inflation, currency, devaluation, and debt traps. The patterns repeat. Boom, bust, bailout, repeat. And if you look closely, the same strategies used a century ago are still being deployed, only faster, and on a global scale. The result? Extreme concentration of wealth, growing inequality, and an almost invisible battlefield that affects every person on Earth. Money is a weapon as much as it is a tool. Understanding its mechanics is essential for survival. Crises are often orchestrated, not accidental. Patterns from history repeat themselves with alarming consistency. Awareness is the first defense. Diversification, education, and strategic thinking are the only ways to navigate the silent war successfully. The silent war of money manipulation is already shaping our world, and most people are blissfully unaware that on the battlefield. Ignoring it doesn't make it disappear. It only ensures you are on the losing side. Knowledge is power, strategy is survival, and action is essential. If you want to uncover the moves, understand the hidden forces, and prepare for the financial battles ahead. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. The war isn't waiting, and neither should you.